All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are live now. We're on YouTube. We are in the lounge. And thank you guys for joining us in the Real Man to Man Lounge. We got a lot of good topics for y'all this coming up right now. So again, ladies and gentlemen, y'all sit back and relax and enjoy yourself in the Real Man to Man Lounge. All right, man. Thank you guys for being here again in the Real Man to Man Lounge. We are excited, man. We are excited. Well, let's get. I'm just gonna introduce, and I'm gonna get out of the way. Y'all know who I am. I am president of the Ritter Sports group, but normally the host. But I'm not the host today. I get to sit back and relax and be the introduction. I'm over Ed McMahon today. Ladies and gentlemen, man, we have the OG in the group. Y'all know who he is. It's the legendary Q Diggity Dog, the
All
legend.
right, what's up, my peoples? Welcome to the Real Man's Lounge. Yes, sir.
He is in the building. And ladies and gentlemen, we have broken a record today, ladies and gentlemen. She is the first ever female actually on the sports podcast. She is, ladies and gentlemen, it is Miss Philly G. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Philly G. Oh, T-Mac, what's going on, girl? What's going on? Oh, man.
That's my best friend. Hey.
And last but not least, ladies and gentlemen, he is the host of the Real Man to Man Lounge. Let's give it up, man, for Mr. VP. He is the vice president of the group, man. It is Young Mark, man. What up, boy?
Yes, sir.
What up with it?
Appreciate y'all for being here, man. It's about to get real. Y'all ready to go?
Let's get it. Let's get it.
Let's get it.
Oh, look. There he is. There you go. Look.
Hey, that man gonna support
there
you,
you
man.
go.
We love to see
that boy watching this woman like a hawk.
So, as y'all know, man, welcome to the Real Man to Man Lounge. This is where we come to have some engaging conversations, trade knowledge, and at the end of the day, walk away better people with more respect and appreciation for the other side. So, sit back, relax, and let's learn something today, all right?
Wait a minute, who pouring drinks? You want me to pour drinks? I don't drink, so I pour the drink. Want me to be the bartender too?
I got you.
Q, what you drinking? What you drinking real quick? What you drinking, Q?
I'm drinking Crown Apple, baby.
Crown Apple, I got you. What you got, T-Mac?
I got some sweet tea with my country self.
Sweet tea? You don't drink either?
Non-alcoholic,
baby. We ready.
All right.
Host, what you got, host? What you got?
You already know, man. I need an old number 7, man. 2 cubes.
Old number 7? Man, I got you right now. Hey, old number 7. Q dog. All right, bro.
I hear you, bro.
Can't go wrong with the classics. We're going to go ahead and get into it real quick. So, as you all know, it's fall, which means it's football season. And all of the eyes of America are on the NFL. And recently, Miami Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa was involved in a little bit of controversy, to say the least, with the NFL. For those of you who don't know, he played in a game on a Sunday against the Buffalo Bills. He took a hard hit, appeared to hit his head on the turf, and when he tried to get back up, he had the spaghetti knees. He was wobbling all over the place and almost fell back down to the ground. He was evaluated for a concussion, which is the NFL protocol, and an independent neurologist had ruled that he was fit enough to go back into the game. He went back into the game and finished it. And then 5 days later, on Thursday, he had to play another football game. And this time he got hit and again hit his head on the turf. And this time he didn't get back up. He was laying on the turf. His body appeared to be frozen. His fingers were twisted. Not to make light of the situation, but I kid you not, it looked like his fingers were like holding up gang signs. They were so twisted. And he had to be carted off the field and transported to a local hospital. But I say all that to say that the Tua Tagovailoa situation has once again brought the topic of football and concussions back up to the public eye. And in many households across the country right now, many couples are having the debate, should I or should I not let my son play football? So that's what we're going to dive into a little bit here today. So I want to start with Mama Tasia, as we call her, because her maternal instincts are way ahead of her time. So I'm starting with Mama Tasia. If you and Philly G were to have some young boys right now, given the current state of football, would you let your sons play the game?
The simple answer to that question is no. But I've been saying this for years, even prior to this situation. So I'm good on that. I want them to focus on maybe another sport and definitely academics, but I'm good on football.
Is it specifically because of concussions or just injuries overall?
Concussions specifically. Other injuries, I mean, for the most part, you can heal from it, but a concussion, that's a chance that you're taking with your life.
Very true. Q Dog, same question to you. Would you let your son play football in today's day and age?
Yes, I would. We know that football is a gladiator type of sport. It used to be a whole lot. They have gotten better to what it used to be in the 60s and 70s. But now, somewhere down the line, we know someone's going to take a terrible hit. I mean, that's just natural. It doesn't happen too much, but somebody's going to take a terrible hit like that. I really feel that the neurologist, I think they fired him. The one you said, yeah, they fired him. And a lot of times they put the owners on these players, and because they pay them so much money, and the owners want to get the best out of their investment, and they really don't look at the players' health. They want performance, they want dollars, and they're not concerned about that. And so that's the side of the ball that's not good. But these things happen in football. He's not the first, and won't be the last. This is one of the biggest. This is one of the biggest sports in the whole world. Football. I mean, you can imagine life without football. I mean, this world would be, oh man. I mean, but until I think somebody like Darryl Stingley, that got paralyzed back in the 70s with the Raiders. If you see somebody that consistently getting paralyzed or something like that, they might do a change or they might end football. But these things that people see, I know they look gruesome. It look tragic, but you got to expect things like this going to happen. It's football. People land funny ways. They land on their head, and like Mike Utley for the Detroit Lions that Thanksgiving years ago, he messed his neck up. Yeah, he messed his neck up, so he was permanently out of football. So I would, kids now, they just want to play. They want to play the game. They don't really look at the injuries, and so you just let them get out there and play and just pray, and and just it doesn't happen. The ratio of healthy players and is real low. And so I would look at it. I would let my son play. I definitely would.
Gotcha. It looks like we got Drunk in the building. Shout out to you, Drunk.
He's in the lounge, baby. What up?
Glad to see you. Drunk says, I love football, but if you let your kid play now, you're basically sacrificing his future health in exchange for a possibility to be rich and famous. Very fair point. And he also said it's a concussion almost every game now, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
To piggyback on what Drunk said about it being a concussion every game, could you low-key look at that as a good thing to say that the medical science in the game of football has evolved to the point where what normally would have just been, brushed off as like, you just got your bell rung, you're okay, shake it off, is now being caught and recognized as concussion-like symptoms and being diagnosed a lot more. Do you think that could be a good thing, Q or T-Mac?
Go ahead,
I think
T-Man.
it's progress.
Okay.
But it's just not enough for me. And who's to know what's going to happen when I do actually have kids and what progress we. But today's time,
Gotcha. Q-Dog, do you think it's a good or a bad thing that more concussions are being recognized on the field?
I mean, I think they are, but we know that, like I said, I mean, this won't be the last. I mean, we're talking about a gladiator type sports that we did our best to implement rules that you can't do this to a player and do that to a player because of the gruesome effects that it might have. So we have tightened up on that. But still, it's still the game of football. Things are going to happen. Players are going to land awkwardly. I just really feel that I think if it's just too much money involved in it. The sport is just too big for maybe just one player to go through what they're going through and to just end the sport itself. So that being said, that we just got to prepare ourselves to see moments like that will happen with players. And I think the medical science is doing the best they can to prevent or try to lessen these injuries. And but sometimes, it's still football at the end of the day.
Very true. Mr. President, would you let your young son play football?
No. I only reason why, because I know my son. He ain't built for it. I wouldn't say let. I mean, if he want to play, nah. I had to put the dad foot down on that one. No, son. Nah, it ain't for you. My son, he like baseball and stuff like that. But I agree with what Q's saying, and I also agree with what T-Mac saying, Miss Philly G. I remember I know what she's saying, because as a mom, you know how moms is. Moms, you got two when it come down to sports, you got two mothers, because I coach basketball as well. You got the mother that's like, don't hurt my baby. No, he tackling my baby too hard.
That's T-Mac.
Get him out of there. No, we got to get him out of there. He tackling my baby. Child, no. But then you also got that baby that's going. I mean, you got that mama that's going to be like, well, you got to toughen it up, son. And you got to toughen up. And that was kind of like my mom, But the way football is now, man, I think everybody's. I mean, personally, to answer your question, no, I won't let my son play, because he ain't built that way. But man, it's just dangerous. Like I mean, we see the NFL and the guys getting hurt, man, but I don't think high school and middle school to be like that. I mean, anybody can get hurt in any given game, but I mean, I don't know. I think you just need to know your kid. If you got a tough kid, then why not?
Yeah.
But if you got a brainy kid, I use that term. If he likes to, if he like to play the guitar, and that's all he want to do is play the guitar, don't put a helmet on him and make him go out there on the field. He gonna get hurt. Now, if he likes to play football and he walk around like Ricky on Don't Be Mr. Society, he walk around Ricky, he walk around with the football and all that, and so be it, bro. Go ahead, because that's what you want to do, And whatever you want to do, you're gonna do it pretty good. But I see. I gotta go with the mama on this one, bro. I just nah, bro. Know your kid. Know your kid.
Nothing wrong with that. What's going on, Drunk? Let's see. Drunk said it is a good thing, VP, but a lot of players ain't getting diagnosed once they don't get up. That's very true. Yeah. One of the common complaints you'll hear, especially among like former professional players, is when you're out there, you feel like, you either have to play as long as you can because your job in the NFL isn't guaranteed, or, it's your inner macho man kicking in saying like, I'm good, I'm tough, can't nothing stop me. So definitely agree with Junk there.
The second one is Babe.
Facts. But I'm
one more. We got one more.
Oh, what did you say? A high schooler passed away in after a brutal hit. Oh man, yeah. That's what football they have happened. We can't deny it. They're few and far between, but they do happen. Q, you about to say something?
Yeah, I was going to say that I used to date this lady, and she had a grandson, and he told me that he wants to be a wide receiver. That's his dream. He wants to be a wide receiver. He throws the football up in the house, and I've been outside to play with him. He runs around cones and stuff, and he talks about certain players, and that's what he wants to be. So I took the football and I gave it to him, and I said, what I want you to do is this: what your dream is, what you want to be. I said, I want you to take this football, and every night I want you to go to sleep with this football. I want you to sleep with this football and just dream about being an NFL receiver. I said, because there's other boys out here that's thinking the same thing as you thinking. And if you want to be the best, I want you to eat, sleep, and drink football. And so, I didn't say nothing about far as the hits and whatever they take. And he wants to just play football. That's what his dream in his heart, to be a receiver. So I think that he's a kid, and he'll grow up, and he'll learn the game more. And if it's in his heart that that's the way he wants to be, and he knows the chances that he's taking, but inside his heart that's where he wants to be, then I don't want to kill his dream. So knowing that they take certain hits, and then there's a lot of times a lot of kids, they want to play football till they take that first hit.
Yeah.
And when they take that first hit down, I don't want to play no more.
Yeah.
All they see is the receiver running up and down the field catching the ball. And so now I want to be a receiver. But you don't see the receiver when you go across the middle and you take that gruesome hit. Are you tough enough to get back up? Those things that you learn. So, hey. So I really, I just don't. I don't want to kill nobody's dream, but you have to learn that as you grow up, as you get older, things like that. And I'll let you know that you truly do, if you truly do want to play this game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very true. Junk said it is during career I worry about, but it's after they retire when boredom and CTE kicks in. We have then seen some horror stories. That's true. Not during the career. Got you. Mm-hmm. So my question is, and I'm gonna start with Q Dog on this one. Q mentioned on the Real to Sports talk show a few times that back in the day when he would watch football, you would watch with anticipation of who's gonna get knocked out today. Like football was a lot more brutal back in like the 70s and 80s than what it is right now. Even back then, and I could be wrong because I wasn't around back then, but there was a lot less hesitancy from parents of their kids play football, despite the brutal hits we were seeing all around us on TV. What do you think has changed, or do you think there was any reason why it was more acceptable back then versus than it is today?
I think when you started taking, I'm not trying to say, I know how women are about the game. And sometimes when women go to the game, they take their children to the game. And then when they see these gruesome hits, it's like, well, my boy is not finna get out there because he's not going to end up like that. Football, you say the 70s, like I said, we used to wake up and get ready to watch the game. And that was our saying between me and our brothers. We knew how gruesome the sport was. And we would say, who's going to get hurt today? Because it was almost guaranteed that somebody would get hurt because they were just rough and tough. But as the game got along, they put in these rules where you couldn't do this, you couldn't do the head slap and all this stuff like that. So they took away these things and made the game more softer, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't want to see the gruesomeness of football. then again, like I say, it's a gladiator sport. And if you don't like what you see, don't watch it. Then I think they evolved over that, made it more passive, especially protecting quarterbacks. So the defensive players, it wasn't too much that they can do now, like they did back then. But I really think that if you're looking at it, you just got to know in your mindset that don't think that football is just a game where people are just running around and scoring points. Hits happen, accidents happen, injuries happen. You got to know that. And when you see it, just don't be frantic and freak out because you don't see as much. When you see it, you freak out. It's football. They know that. The players know that. They know it's a chance that they might get hurt or things might happen to them. But they love the game. It's in their heart. It's in there. And once it's in there, you can't take it away. They don't care nothing about those hits or those gruesome injuries. They want to play. Yeah. So, that's my feel on it.
So, Mr. President, what do you think has changed over the years to where what was like acceptable or looked at almost like a tradition is now like more and more parents are saying, and it's okay to watch, but my son's not going to be a part of that. What do you think has changed to make people feel that way?
As far as from you mean from the 70s to now?
Right, from like the 70s and 80s to now, it's like it's kind of weird how the game was more barbaric back in the day, and there were a lot more people allowed to play football. But as the game has gotten more and more safe, less and less people are now being allowed to play football.
Nah, football is all show now. Back then, damn, I don't want to tell my age. But back with football, man, football was, like you said, gladiator sport. It's not gladiator no more. Nah. I mean, it still got you still got some points, but nah, definitely watered down. It's all show now. Man, they got more headbands and sleeves and all that good stuff than talent. I've seen players, put on the flies kicks and saying, got the visor on their helmet, they looking fly, but can't catch a cold.
Right.
Saying so, but it's all show. It's all show. Children want to be these guys that they see on TV. I not to jump off football subject, but my son, he loves wrestling, and he wants to be like John Cena. He wants to be John Cena, but I'm like, son, you're not built for that. You know what I'm saying? You're not built for that, and I want to, if you don't mind, Mark, I want to go on that CTE thing, man. That
go ahead.
That stuff is man. I looked at that a few years ago, and that stuff is serious. And I looked at Jim McMahon, Chicago Bears quarterback in '85, Super Bowl quarterback. Man, he's feeling that to this day. He gets up in the morning. He used to have a splitting headache. He was blind out of his right eye. He was just, man, he was forgetting stuff. And notice I said back in the 80s when hard hits and stuff was allowed, but the way Tua got hit the other night or last week or whatever, if he don't stop, he's gonna be that way. And Tua is what, 25 maybe?
Yeah, 24, about 24, 25, yeah.
24, 25, man, and your career is screwed, man. And you don't want to be, 24, 25, man, stuck in the wheelchair. And it goes back with the kids, and that's all having fun or whatever, and that's cool, man. But the kids can be that way too. And I got to go with the mama bear on this one because, I mean, oh man, it's scary. I ain't gonna lie. I love football, but I don't want my son out there. I just know he ain't built for it, bro. I just know he ain't built for it, and I know I'm gonna be like that. Hey, get off. Nah, bro. It just nah. Go ahead, because I can talk more on that. You better go ahead on.
You got a question? What we got from John? Question for y'all: with the way the world moving, do y'all think one day violent sports are going to be extinct? It's a very good question.
Good question.
Mama Tasia, I'm gonna let you jump on that first. What do you think? Do you think violent sports are gonna be taken away from us here pretty soon?
I don't think so. I think so long as people want to do it and they find joy in it, and for a lot of these people, it's a career option, it's still going to stick around. But like we saw with football, you're going to make certain adjustments to the sport or whatever to make it more acceptable or less dangerous. And I mean, you can't 100% take all of the violence or the danger out of it, but they'll do what they can.
Okay. Q Dog, what do you think?
I don't think though. I just think there's too much money involved. Like I say, this is like the number one sports venture in America. You know, everybody loves football. We've seen injuries time and time again. We see people get paralyzed in the 70s. Michael Irvin went down with some kind of nerve in his elbow. He couldn't play no more. So it just, to me, the weight on the other side is the enjoyment of the entertainment of the sport is way far more. You have more of that than you do to have injuries. If you see people, I think if you see people dying, if you start to see people dying, then maybe. But until that, I don't see no end of football. I really don't.
Violent sports, period. I mean, violent sports. You got boxing, you got wrestling, professional wrestling. It's violent, it's choreographed, but still, I mean, you still hitting that mat. You know, that's real. I mean, long as you real and long as that mat is real, you hitting it. Bam, bam, gravity. As far as, you know, I don't think like Miss Philly G said, you know, taking it, you know, it's career. You know, I don't think they're gonna ever take that away because people make money off that. I mean, we pay money to see people get bashed in the head. You know, well, I mean, we see that back in the 70s, man. Raiders, Vikings, they go to football games. Even you as a kid, Q, you and your brothers, y'all get up in the morning to see who gonna get hurt first.
That's it.
See what I'm saying? We got that barbaric. We want to see people. It entertains us.
Yeah, but I didn't mean to cut you off. But I mean, you would see that you would see that every Sunday. Somebody was getting hurt because you know you're looking at Dick Buckers and the way he played and how he was just so violent out on the field. You come his way, he's just gonna try to go through you. And you know, now flags will go up. You know, they'll suspend him. You know, possibly kick him out the league for the way he played. You know, but that was just how it was back then. You know, it just somebody every Sunday somebody's gonna lay down. That's just the way they play.
What day? Every Sunday, right?
Every Sunday.
So that means the TV production, they know it's coming every Sunday, right?
Right, so they know it's coming.
That means money. That means careers. Like Miss Philly G said, they'll never take that away because it's careers. There's money. We pay to see people get hurt. We pay to see people get tackled. Us as fans, football fans, the game a little watered down, but we would like to see some hard hits, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It'll never go away because as long as we want to as long as we're paid to see it, as long as we're entertained to see it, it's gonna keep coming. It ain't gonna stop.
Yeah, true. We want to see the hard hits, but we don't want to see the stretcher.
No, I want to see stretcher.
No, we don't want to see the stretcher. We want to see your hard hit. Let you get up. Let two guys pick you up arm by arm, take you to the sideline. We want to see that you know you're gonna be okay. Go up under the tent. That's good. But to put you on the stretcher, no, we don't want to see that. But that will.
You got some animosity there, Q.
Well,
you got some animosity there, bro.
No, I mean, you know, that's just football, you know. That's how it is, you know.
Yeah,
it's definitely true. So one of the things that I've encountered over my years, and Miss Philly G used to watch this show too back in the day. There was a show that used to come on TV, and they began every episode by saying that every day we live, we face 1,000 ways to die. In the in the war against concussions, it seems like the neurologist in the scientific world has made American tackle football public enemy number one when it's not the only sport where you can get a concussion. Why do you think football has been made the prime target in the war against head injuries? I'm start with Mr. President.
I'm sorry. Say it again.
Why do you think that in the war against head injuries, football has been made enemy number one?
Because it's more of a contact sport and it's more popular. Hockey, they do the same thing. Yeah, I think football is just more of an American sport, like the number one popular American sport, I believe. Basketball, you can get head injuries too. I mean, all sports, of course, but I think football more because they wear helmets. They wear helmets in hockey, but like I said, hockey is more. It's less than head. I mean, you got more sticks and you sliding around, whatever. You bound to get hit in the head playing football. And we see that every game, pretty much. A quarterback getting smashed in the head by accident, by momentum. You can just be running and slide, and boom, you tear the quarterback up. So, yeah.
So Miss Philly G, why do you think football is like the main target in this war against head injuries? Do you think, like President said, it's because of its popularity, or do you think it's something else?
Yeah, I mean, it's called America's favorite pastime. Like, I think that's primarily, and then I know for me, I think about it in a sense of, okay, I'm raising young Black children.
Mm-hmm.
So what do we see most of the time in our households? It's normally basketball, football, maybe baseball. But what if I have a big burly husky son? What is he likely gonna do?
See? Yep.
So basically, with that being said, it's like, oh no, you can be big burly and husky and do something else.
That's that mama. That's that mama right there. I feel
so my question for Q Dog would be, if we didn't have football, or if football wasn't as popular in America as it is today, do you think we would have so many conversations about concussions?
No, I don't think so. To go back to that last question that you were saying, I think really the reason why they target football all the time, because football players all the time, they're constantly bending. You can't, the running back can't run straight up. A defensive player can't run straight up to tackle each other. A running back always get low. So when a defensive player comes, he gets low. So what's the first thing that's leading? It's the helmet. It's the head. If a receiver trying to get the first down and a defensive player is trying to get the first down, he can't get it just running straight up. He has to have he got to build some kind of power. So the power that you build is when you get low. So the defensive power, he has to get low to match that intensity. And so when he matches that intensity, these helmets, they're the ones that's in front and center. And so the defensive player now, back in the day, you can use the head, but you got to turn that head, use more of this body to get them down. You got to get that head out the way. But sometimes it's not that easy. A receiver go across the middle, the ball is thrown low, he trying to catch the ball, the defensive player trying to get it, but at the same time, he moving so fast, he cannot get his head out the way in time, so he look like he's targeting. With the helmet, you all the time leading with the helmet, with the running back, or especially the running back, because you get low. And in order to stop it, that's a lot of power and speed. You cannot stop him standing straight up like that. You can't do it. You have to match it. So you have to get low with them. So that's why football is more targeted with head images, because the angles that they have, they're all the time having their head using with power, was offense or defense, to run them over or to stop them. So that's the question for that. But I think that if you took away football, then you wouldn't have to worry about the concussion thing so much, because it rarely happens in basketball unless they trip or fall come down in a certain way, or whether they're never leading with the head like football is.
Gotcha. Let's see what we got from Drunk. Drunk said number one enemy for neurologists because it gives them the greatest sample size to study from. They can see the hits clearly, then they can see the effects. That's very true as well. He also says, and it's a bunch of players for them to study. Also very true.
You got one more.
Them neurologists can't wait to get their hands on the Tony. Yeah, very, very true.
That's a fact.
I whole life agree with that. Like on a serious note, if you are a football fan, you know Antonio Brown, when he first entered the league, was very humble, very hardworking. He was very well spoken, not really flamboyant or anything like that. But in 2015, during a playoff game against the Bengals, he was coming across the middle. He got hit in the head by Vontaze Burfict. And I kid you not, he's not been the same ever since. A lot more outspoken, a lot more flamboyant, and doing all these crazy sorts of things off the field. And I ain't trying to put it on him. You know, I hope he's okay. But if you ask a lot of people online, they're saying like, yeah, he's definitely showing signs of CTE.
And those of you for translation means the lights is on, but ain't nobody home.
Yeah. Q-Dog, what you got?
Since you mentioned Vontaze Burfict, let me ask you a question about the style that he plays. You know, he has a motor, and he plays like the old school type of players that we're talking about in the 70s. But that style is not going to work in the way the league is playing today. Do you think that he's just not ready for this type of football, the way he plays?
I could agree with that because he's a very old school like player, and you see like every time he did do one of those like dirty hits, he got suspended and fined heavily for it. Like he was with the Raiders, did a dirty hit on a player from the Colts, got suspended the rest of the season, and hasn't been seen in the NFL since.
Right.
So, you know, with the NFL has definitely gone above and beyond to try to distance itself from its old barbaric roots and the hard hits and everything. To give you all an example, back in the day, you had multiple football games. You had like NFL Blitz, you had Madden. NFL Blitz literally popularized itself based on the outrageously violent hits that you'd often see in that game. And then in Madden, with a feature called the hit stick, where you give your player extra power to really knock somebody off their feet. Back in the day, you played Madden with Ray Lewis and you used the hit stick on somebody. Literally, the other player's helmet would come flying off and start rolling down the field. Damn. As the concussion conversation got going, the NFL removed their name from the Blitz game and then took helmet coming off. They took that out of Madden. They mandated that, and they also forced Madden to remove the term concussion or head injury from the game. If your player gets hit in the head or gets injured in Madden, the most they'll say is upper body injury. So things are definitely changing. What you got, Q?
I want to ask you a question. Why do you think that when a person's helmet comes off, like a running back or something, when his helmet come out, why don't they just whistle to play dead? Because that's dangerous. That is so dangerous. But they still allow the play to carry on. I mean, his helmet is off, and people are coming to tackle him. He don't have no protection for his brain or his skull. But they will never whistle to play dead. They won't do it. But they should. Somebody's gonna. It don't happen that much, and it happens. It does happen, but somebody's gonna get seriously hurt when their helmet come off and they don't whistle to play dead. They wrong for that. They should do that, man. You got to protect the player when the helmet come off and they still running for yards. They got to run in there and whistle that play dead, because that person can get killed.
Very
Mr.
true.
President, what do you think about that?
You talking about with the no helmet?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you're running, they're running, and then like the running back might run, and then the helmet comes off, but he's still fighting for yards. I'm saying the referee should come in and whistle it dead because the man helmet is off, and he can possibly get killed if a helmet hit his head.
Don't they normally do though?
I don't think they do that.
The most that I've personally seen is if a player's helmet comes off during a play, no matter what position they play, either the team has to call a timeout, or that player has to come off of the field, be evaluated, and sit out at least one play. They're not allowed to have their helmet come off and then continue to play straight away.
I've seen that in college before. A guy was running and his shoe and his damn helmet came off and he kept going. I said, whoa.
No, but I'm saying, like, if you're a running back, when you run around, running back, they take a lot of contact.
Yeah.
So if the helmet comes off, he's still in motion. He don't, he's still running and the helmet comes off. That's what I'm talking about. Like, why don't they come in and just whistle the play dead? Because they don't allow him to keep running.
But I think they do, though. I think they do, though, Q. I think they do.
I ain't seen it.
I think they do.
I've seen a lot of them keep running with the helmet off. I've seen it.
The league's moving away from hard hitters. For example, Bobby Wagner has a 99 hit power on Madden, and he doesn't even crack people like that. Yeah, that's very true.
Okay, Bobby Wagner. Fuck him.
NFL Blitz was
Sorry, Miss Philly G.
That was one of my favorites. Are we whistling the play dead if any player helmet come off or only the ball carrier? Like I said, I've seen where it could be an offensive lineman, it could be a defensive back. If they see your helmet come off, they immediately pull you from the game. You have to sit out at least one play.
Yeah.
But when Q said that, I thought about Jason Witten in the game against Philly G's Eagles, I believe, where his helmet came off mid-play and he was still running down the field trying to score a touchdown.
Right, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. But they shouldn't allow that. They shouldn't allow that, though.
Yeah,
they should.
So, Mama Tasia, as a person who's like not necessarily the biggest fan of football, but somebody who obviously watches it thanks to Philly G, as a casual viewer of the sport, if you were to see something like that, what would your response or reaction be? Like, you watching a game and a player's helmet comes off and he keeps trying to run. How would you react to that?
Yeah, casual watcher. Anyway, I think I agree with what Q Dog was saying. Like, if the helmet comes off in the play, like, no unnecessary damage should come to that player, regardless of what position he's in.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and then continue to do what they're doing. Let him be evaluated and make sure that they're straight before they can go back into the game. Mm-hmm. So it's a twofold. You need to do both.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree with that. He did. Weapon X. Weapon X. He did. Yeah, I definitely agree with her on that. Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So the cool part about this episode of the Man-to-Man Lounge is we're allowing you all to experience this conversation from many different points of view.
This is a lounge. I'm supposed to be lounging, man. Let me lounge on. Go ahead, bro.
I appreciate Mr. President and his point of view, because it helps to dispel a very big stereotype around this conversation. A lot of the times, people who are very religious about football point the blame at women and say it's a woman issue. They're the ones complaining and not letting their kids play football. But as you're seeing here today, ladies and gentlemen, it's also men that feel that way as well. Give you another example. In 2014, LeBron James, who's a very avid football fan, came out and said that he wouldn't allow his children to play football. He only allows them to play baseball, basketball, and soccer. And I want to bring you guys' attention to something real quick, just to help further prove that point, that it's not just women that are against concussions and whatnot. In 2018, there was a very high-profile case out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, where a father took his ex-wife to family court because his son had suffered 3 concussions playing high school football, and the father was like, that's enough. I want you to have longevity and live a nice, long, healthy life. He wanted to pull him out. The mother felt the opposite way. She wanted him to play, and they couldn't come to an agreement on it, so they had to go all the way up to the court system just to get the issue resolved. So my question, I'm gonna start with Mama Tage on this. Say you're in a spouse or committed relationship, and your significant other leans one way on the argument of letting the kids play football, you lean on the other side of it. What is the compromise here? What does that conversation look like? How do you guys meet in the middle?
I mean, there's really no true compromise in it. It's either, if you're saying you're the mom and I don't want him to play, and the dad is saying I want him to play, or vice versa. One person is going to be on the opposite end of that discussion. One person is not going to like that answer. And of course, you can always lean to your child and what your child wants to do. But at the same token, it's a child. As the parent, you have to do what's in the best interest of your child, regardless of how they may feel about it. Because that little boy could very well be like, I'm tough. I can do it. I can keep going. We know somebody who was just like that. Therefore, you have to do what's in the best interest of your child. And if that's going to be a sacrifice that they're not going to be able to cash in on as a kid, you don't know what you're doing to the longevity of your life. As a parent, I'm doing the research. I know what you're doing. I'm gonna have to put the brakes on that. We ain't doing it.
Mr. President, I see you
is too much.
Oh. Yeah. Mr. President, you nod now. Go ahead and chime in. Like, what do you think the compromise is? Do you think one exists for this situation?
Well, first thing before I answer that, man, shout out to Drunk, bro. Yeah, man, we keep it real around here, man. Appreciate that, Drunk. We got a wrestling that's coming up too, so stick to it, Drunk. But the compromise, man, Miss Philly G, man, I like how she rolled, man. It's all about the kid. Now, again, my son, he likes WWE, for example. So, son, okay, he want to be a wrestler. Let's say he just want to be a professional wrestler. Okay. Let me look at this thing here. Now, as a dad, I'm sitting back. I'm like, okay, professional wrestler. Let me punch you in the chest real quick. And he, no, you're not wrestling. No. See, it goes back to what I'm saying.
She wasn't ready for it.
It goes back to knowing your kid. It all boiled down to it. It goes back to just knowing your child. Like my wife, we know my wife knows that my son is not built. He's skinny. He's skinny kid. Like he's not ready for no football. He is just not. He's just not that type of guy. But if she say, well, I think he should play football, and then I say, well, I think not. Now, like I said, she's thinking one way, I'm thinking one way. So now we got like Miss Philly G say, now we got to look in the middle. Me, her, okay. So that it ain't working. So now we got to look in the middle. We both got to look in the middle. He ain't working. He ain't with no football. He can't catch. He can't throw. He can run. But he can't catch and he can't throw and he can't take no hit because he's gonna start crying. No. So you got to come down to it just got to come down to compromise. You got to come down to it. Like she said, you got to see the child. You got to see the child. You got to know your child. You got to see what you got first before you even think about going to the Dick's Sporting Goods and getting pads and helmets and all that good stuff. Nah, bruh. Nah.
Yeah, that stuff ain't cheap.
Talk about it, bro.
Q-Dog.
Hey, Q-Dog, you go buy
this, man.
But what I can say on that is that I would think that the child health comes first, and
lovable.
I would think the child health comes first, and then as he grows. We, like T-Mac said, we got to think about his health and his longevity in life. And then, and as we get him evaluated, we take him away from the game. And then as he get older or something like that, and he's cleared, and he's okay. And if he wants to get back out there, like high school football or what, if it's in his heart, he'll get back out there. But far as when something like that, we want to look at his health first. And I don't know, Mark, I don't know if you remember, or T Mac, maybe, I don't know if you remember President, but Hank Gathers,
Hank Gavin,
lawyer on Mount, Hank Gathers had the irregular heartbeat, and he died on the basketball court. And he knew he was diagnosed with that, but he loved the game so much that he was willing to die for it. He would have died on the court. He died on the court.
Yeah.
The first time that ever happened in history, or NBA, or college. Anyway, it was college. Lord Marymount. Yeah. And then you look at Lewis that played for the Boston Celtics.
Reggie Lewis.
Reggie Lewis. He had a regular heartbeat, but what did he do? He came out there, kept on playing. He died on the court eventually. So sometimes, a lot of times these players, they do these things as children, and they get so much in them, that this is all they know. This is all they want to do. Absolutely. They don't care about the health issue, because they don't know nothing else. You're trying to tell them to stop doing something that I love since I was a kid and do something else.
Yeah.
They'd rather just die doing what they love.
Yeah.
To me, it's understandable because it's in the heart.
Right.
And so, as they get older, when they become adults or whatever in high school, Mom, I still want to play this and that. You can't really stop them. You can't really stop them because it's in their heart. And then when they're little children, you can slow it down. You can put a hold on it. But as they get in high school and they want to play on the collegiate level, and they got pros on their mind, they're on a one-train track to get to the NFL, no matter what it takes. And so you have to look at it and say, okay, then he knows the circumstances. Just let him roll because it's in his heart. I just really feel like things like that is going to happen. Players just in their blood like that to continue to do what they love, and so we're going to see things like that. And so we just got to pray and hope that each player that goes down gets back up and walks to the sideline. Some of them won't. We just got to face reality.
Go ahead, President.
Question for you, host. What do you think? Would you let your son? Now I know you ain't got no bread in the oven right now, but eventually the bakery gonna be open. So, what about you?
Me and T Mac have had this conversation many times.
Well, let's hear the secrets.
So my perspective on things has changed over the years. Younger me would be like hell bent on allowing my child to play football, because football, for anybody that knows me, knows football is the greatest love of my life. Like, I literally don't know if I love anything else on this planet more than the game of football. So if my son expressed interest in it, I'm gonna
tell your mama.
Hey, we're talking objectively here, not people. But if my son expressed interest in the game of football, I'd be all for it. Like, you wouldn't be able to tell me no. What changed for me is, I'm a very big advocate for mental health, and my therapist had brought up to me the link between CTE and head trauma and concussions to mental health issues. So for the sake of trying to protect my child's mental health, the compromise that I had come up with T-Mac was, if they have an interest in football, I'm going to let them play flag football at first, just to get them exposed to the game and to kind of scratch the itch in a way that's a lot safer than full-on contact football. And if they get to the age of like about 11, 12, 13 and express interest in wanting to keep playing but want to play tackle football, then that's probably around the time where I would feel comfortable letting them do that. Just because, at that point, their bodies are a little bit more mature. And I feel like when you get to the higher levels of organized football, especially in today's day and age, you're dealing with coaches that are a lot more safe, teaching a more fundamentally sound way to play the game of football. And you have neurologists and things like that are there ready to go on standby in case something does go bad. So that would kind of be my compromise. Let them play flag football for a little bit, just to kind of scratch that itch.
Oh, yeah, Philly G. Son's gonna be track.
That's a
you ran
fast
track.
woman
You ran track, Miss Philly G.
Nick. But I was always, whenever we had to like run track as far as part of gym class, I was always one of the first things smoking to end that thing. But no, I was always a runner, but it wasn't a part of like my path for me to do that. I had a
Gotcha.
lot of other responsibilities that I had to do that I couldn't really focus on that task. But I've always loved that sport, and I thought that it would be a good way for, if my child is anything like me, a little long-legged something, baby, let's go. We can do that.
I hear you on that one, boy. I hear you on that one. I hear you on that one.
Oh, yeah. That's a fast woman. You it's gonna be hard to outrun her. From personal experience. Ooh,
Baby,
child.
running out the shoes, we don't even care.
Boy, you know how, boy, what you talking about? Oh, boy, you remember that as a kid, man? You get a cue, remember that, boy? You go down the street there, hold your arms out like this here. First one hit the arm, win. On your mark,
Right.
get set, go.
Right.
Kids will be gone.
Deal.
They take them shoes off, boy. When they take them shoes off, you know it's getting
Well,
real.
they take them shoes off, but they will smoke.
They try to get a gold medal. That's what they trying to do. She's pretty fast. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
She's pretty fast, but if they get my aggression and physical, let's see what they can do on that field. It's gonna be a problem. And I got you. Yeah. It's gonna be a problem.
I would never run her, bro. I would never. I was probably maybe like fourth in my class and like running. I wouldn't. I would. Hey, bro. I wasn't a football player. I think my son. I mean, I like wrestling, so my son like wrestling. I like football, but I can't play football. I like to draw plays. I make plays and stuff like that. I ain't like me and my brother. I mean, Jerry Rice was my guy, but I mean, I wasn't really a football guy. Basketball, nah. When it come down to bad, I mean, hey, when it come down to basketball, boy. Hey, but in baseball too. I like the baseball. I like baseball, but do you think Mark hosts? Mark hosts Mark. As far as, is it genetics? As far as the game of football, is it something with genetics? Because you see the Mannings, Archie, Eli, Peyton. Now you got what's the young one name now?
Cooper.
No, not Cooper. What's the one that played for Texas? Arch.
Oh, Arch. Yeah.
Okay. Now that's a family of genetics, apparently. But I mean, out of that Manning group, there's only one that stands above all. But do you think it's something to do with genetics as far as playing football, host? You think so?
Yes and no, because I feel like you can be the child of a famous athlete and not necessarily go down that route.
Yeah.
Like case in point, Irvin Johnson's son EJ inherited all of his father's genetics, like
holy
tall,
smoke,
length, all that.
That's very true.
But he don't play basketball, so
very true.
Hey man, y'all should have kept Sarkisian, man.
Yeah.
I think I find it interesting. I think it's as far as like the conversation of letting people play or not play. I also think another thing that plays a part in is where you're from, where your family lives. Because you can go to a place like Texas, for example, football is a religion, yo. Like football is like dang near neck and neck with Big G.
Yes,
as
sir.
far as like importance. So when I asked my female friends in Texas the same question and had the conversation with them, they without hesitation said they would let their kids play because that's how serious it is down there.
Good point, Mark.
Versus somewhere like North Carolina where we all are, basketball is kind of the king around here. So
this is basketball country. That's right.
You have a lot more parents leaning towards letting the kids shoot hoops.
Yeah.
But What do you guys think about it? Do you think geographically could play a part in it as well? Or do you think the passion for football is something that can be passed down via genetics? Go ahead, Q.
Okay, then. Well, when you talk about genetics, that's my thing. Science. You hit me right on the nose. But I really think that it is genetics. Part of their daddy, they inherit the brains, the wisdom, the knowledge of being a quarterback because they played the position. And it's very ironic that one didn't be a receiver, one didn't be another position, but they both played quarterback, and so they had to inherit these things of a quarterback from their father.
Mm-hmm.
And
so I really feel.
Out of the three Manning brothers, Eli and Peyton played quarterback like their dad, but Coop, who was Arch Manning's father, he played wide receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically enough, you mentioned that.
Right, but it was always there in them because they, the genetics, they got it from their father. But when they decided to want to apply it to that position, so they was already built for that.
Mm-hmm.
Inherit the genetics from their father. So it kind of came natural to them in a way because it's in their genes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
True that.
Drunk.
I agree with the VP. Appreciate it. I live in Missouri, but basketball is more popular than football.
Them damn Chiefs. Damn it. Damn Chiefs.
Yeah, man. Coop was playing at Ole Miss, but he had some neck and head injuries, and that kind of ended his football career before he got a chance to get taken off. Drunk said you're not pressed to play football, but everybody played basketball here at some point. Yeah, I feel it.
Yeah.
I ain't playing no
T-Mac, what do you think? Do you agree with that hypothesis that it could be genetics or it could be where you're from?
Both. Yeah, I can see both points of view as far as what you take interest in. Because like I said, you grow up in a certain household. What are you around? Like dad plays what we say nature versus nurture. Oh, come on now. So they both play a significant role in what you choose to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I grew up with both in my household. So it was easy for my siblings to go down, oh, let's play basketball, let's play football, or both.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't know, to me, like football and basketball, I mean, a lot of times they start young.
Mm-hmm.
So it progresses from one step to the next. And I mean, a lot of the danger does come when you're older and you're playing professionally. But I mean, depending on who the coaches are, even on those younger teams, like you were saying, you have to kind of give them time to mature before they step into any of this stuff. Even if it does become be a natural thing because it's genetically in them. Just give them a little time.
That's what I said. That's what I say with my son. Like, just give him a little time. My wife like to put him in stuff, and that's all fine.
Yeah, you gotta give him a little time.
That's what mamas do.
My son 4 years old, man. Like, damn. I mean, come on, man. Host, do you got something else? Because boy, I got something itching.
Go ahead.
Brain right here. It's right here rolling. Do we put a lot of pressure on kids to do something that they don't want to do, which is sports? Like you said with Texas. Texas, like you said, Texas is a football. They worship it in Texas. They football gods or whatever. What Drunk say? It's a reason some places are called recruiting. Facts.
That's very true as well.
Very true. But do we put pressure on kids? I mean, do we as far as parent, let's say you Mark, you played football before. Okay, you have a son. Your son is 10 years old. He likes football. You introduce him to football. You take him to a game, hot dogs, $2, blah, 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 popcorn, all that, blah, blah. Okay, boom. Now he likes football. Fascinated. He want to play football. So you excited. You like, yeah, man, yeah, my son want to play football. I'm gonna go get him this cleat, this football, this shoulder pad, this helmet, blah, blah. Okay, so now the son is 13. Son, I don't want to play football no more. Kind of hurt your heart a little bit because you love football, like you said. Do you put pressure on him to play football even though he don't want to play it no more?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. My younger self would have. Again, T-Mac is a witness to it. Snoop Dogg's son was a very highly recruited
God damn, I knew he was gonna
wide
go
receiver.
Yeah.
He was a very highly recruited wide receiver out of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And he had committed to UCLA to play football and play receiver. And a little bit after spring practice, he decided he didn't want to play football anymore.
Yeah.
And Tage is my witness. I was very outraged at the time. I'm like, yo, you were handed a golden opportunity that so many kids worked their tails off to get, and you're throwing it away, basically. Like I was incredibly disappointed. But as times have changed, I'm all about enabling my children to do whatever it is they feel like they want to do, so long as it's legal and not anything crazy. I'm gonna enable them to do it because that's what my parents did for me. But it kind of like remixed the conversation real quick. I think not only do parents kind of pressure their kids into playing football in certain situations, but I'm gonna let Taser speak to this. I also think society pressures kids into playing football as well.
Society, yeah,
because Taser knows one of her reasons for. I don't want to speak for her, but Taser, what's another one of your reasons for not wanting your child to play football aside from the injuries? But you also mention something every time we talk about this.
So going back to my point about what you grow up around, we see so many stories of these young Black athletes, and one of the things is always, oh well, we didn't have this, we didn't have that, so I want to make money, I want to buy my mama a house, I want to buy my mom a car, I want to have this, all that. So they see football, basketball, and all these other sports as a way to provide. They are taught to think that that's the only way that their young Black selves can provide. No other job or career is going to allow you to be able to do that. So you have to do this. And as a Black person, you're naturally gifted at being able to do it. So they tell you. So then that's all you pursue. That's all you chase. You don't even attempt to fortify your mind in a certain way to do anything other than that, because that's all you know. And for me as a parent, I'm going to make sure that they know you can do a lot of things. You are not just gifted in sports. Fortify your mind, seek out other interests, because if for some reason you're not one of those few that make it into this career path, you got to have something else to do, and you can still provide.
Mr. President, did she touch a nerve for you, dog?
She killing it. She killing it. She killing it. I look. Hold on. We got it. Billy G said,
Facts.
He gotta have company.
Word.
I'm not good company.
Word. Baby. What did that? Was it? Facts.
That's a good point.
But yeah. No, because I'm pleased, because I'm about to pass it to you, because what she is so right that is just right. I mean, because me and Q behind the scene, we talk about, we have our own Mirror Man to Man Lounge or whatever. Me and Q talk about, and we talked about this stuff like a while ago about the same situation, about it's not just football, but when you're from the hood and you're so good, you want to, we put a lot, the hood, everybody put pressure on you, to do that. But it ain't about it. What if you break your leg? What you gonna do? And we use the movie Coach Carter for example. But I'm gonna stand out of the way. I'm gonna shut up. Host, if you want to pass that to Q Dog, or if you want to speak on that, because I ain't gonna waste your time.
Well, I'm gonna piggyback on what T Mac was saying. Basically, you look at a lot of kids when they look at television, they see certain athletes and they want to be like certain athletes. You look at the NBA, we can only say within our hand, we know 5 good superstars. 5 good superstars in the NBA.
Right.
LeBron James or Stephen Curry or this kid from Memphis that just got in the NBA, John Morant. And so out of 5 good, you could just name just 5 good NBA players, you got millions of them that come out of college. Everybody can't be a top NBA player. It's hard to get there. Then, like you say, you got to have something to fall on. We need a lot of doctors out here, a lot of dentists out here.
Yeah.
So if you can't be that, why don't you just go get your education and be a dentist or be a lawyer or whatever, because everybody's not going to be LeBron James or Stephen Curry or John Morant. Everybody's not going to be that. I promise you that. They just come along very few. But you got millions of college players.
Yes.
That come out of college is trying to get in the NBA, and a lot of them don't make it.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't make it. So you got to have something like T-Mac said, you got to have something to fall on while you're in school. Grab that education. It's right there with you. Mm-hmm. It's right there for you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like you say, you can break a leg or something, but you got a degree in this, you got a degree in that, you can go make some money. Mm-hmm. But don't really think that I think there's a lot of players, they will go to the NBA, make some money, then they'll come back and they'll get a degree in something, or they have a promise to their mother that they'll finish the school with a degree. Because that really sets tone on something that basketball or sports is not forever. Mm-hmm. Anything can happen. Mm-hmm. Anything can happen in your career. Everybody's not going to have a longevity in career. Mm-hmm. Not everybody's not going to do 10, 12 years in a sport. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you look at what's the one that came out of Duke that had the motorcycle accident?
Jason Williams.
Jay Williams. And he used his education to be a journalist.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he had something to fall back on. And that motorcycle took his whole career, took him out. Yeah. But so you gotta have something. True. And he was good. Yeah. He could be one. Don't tell him that. He could be one of the top 5 basketball players that ever played.
Jay Williams. We don't know. Nice.
He was nice.
He was nice, boy. Yeah, he was nice.
Yeah, but
he was.
That one accident did him in.
Yeah.
So you got to have something to fall back on. I'm with T-Mac on that. And we kids, they look at certain players. I want to be LeBron, or I want to be Stephen Curry, especially Stephen Curry and stuff like that. But, everybody can't be there. Everybody can't shoot like that. You can get out there and try a million times, but you can't shoot like that.
Yeah.
So you gotta have your own niche, to and it's not easy to be up there where they be at. You're seeing the top. You don't know what these guys had to go through to get there. Mm-hmm. That's what you don't see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, LeBron James going from home to home. He had to get in that weight room. Look how skinny he was in high school. Mm-hmm. That takes work. You got to get in that weight room, get that body right.
Got to get right. That's right.
Since we have Q Dog on the panel, Q literally just spoke to this minutes ago on the Real to Sports Talk. So if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But another aspect to this conversation that a lot of young kids don't understand is you can have dreams and aspirations to play professional sports. Don't let anybody tell you can't do it. But you have to understand what comes along with it. And one of the underrated aspects of that conversation that I feel like not even parents really bring up that often is, well, in order to go play in the NFL, you got to go play in college first. In order to be a college athlete, you have to have the grades to be accepted into that college, and you have to have the grades to be above the minimum GPA in order to be eligible to play at that university. So education plays about just as much of a role in trying to get to the professional leagues as your physical ability. So if you have a young child out there that wants to play sports or have dreams of playing professional, push them to follow their dreams if you're going to allow it, but also push them to make sure that they're getting a good education and keeping their grades up, because everybody want to play basketball at Duke for Coach Krzyzewski, but Duke got a very, very high standard for their college admissions. So you want to go play at Duke, you got to be able to pay the bills. So I think that if we're going to emphasize athletics in our children, we want to emphasize the education as well. How do you guys feel about that?
I feel totally good. That's why I like the movie Coach Carter. Coach Carter, man, look, he said, what? They doing what in class? Stop practice, bruh. Stop practice. I want y'all he said, sign a contract. Contract says you got to keep this level of grades up in order to play basketball, and you got to put on a suit and tie, and you got to sit in the front row. That's what you do. I remember in high school, when I was in high school, on Fridays, the football team or the basketball team had to wear suits.
Yeah.
Real. They had to wear suits, bro. You had to. And they had to sit in front of the class.
Yeah, I mean that sets the tone for professionalism. I think Dion is doing the same thing down there at Jackson State.
Yeah, you took it, boy. I was just about to say it.
Yeah, he told me, I want you. He said, I want you sitting in front of the class. I don't want you wearing those. I don't want you wearing those slides. I don't want your pants hanging down. I want you wearing this and that. He providing suits for them. It's teaching them not only to be football players, but just be men.
Yeah.
Just being men.
Yep.
This is what men do. We handle ourselves in a professional way. And that's good. You need to keep, like Coach Carly, like you said in the movie, that was good because, he said you will be a statistic out here. You'll be out here with no education, and you have to survive just like everybody else. If you don't have no money, you're going to steal.
That's right. That's
right. It's just point blank. You're going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And it don't. How, and we all know how cruel this world is out here. It don't take much to knock you down. Mm-hmm. It don't take much.
It don't.
If your mind ain't right, you ain't ready to get out here and do what you're supposed to do as a man or a woman, this world will eat you up quick.
That's a fact.
Real quick. So some people ain't ready. Some people don't know how. They're not prepared with a sword and shield to fight out here in the world. You remember the Titans?
Classics.
Yeah. Remember the Titans with Denzel? Yeah. These movies like this are inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
It teaches you how to be able to take what we giving you and what you learn and go out here and be a productive person.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Mama Tage, do you think that parents who want their children to be athletes, do you think they should step up and try to push them to go hard in the classroom as well?
Oh, yeah.
You're muted.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on the mute.
She's muted.
You're on the mute. You're on the mute. You're on the mute.
I think that it's important for everyone to prioritize their education and make sure that they're doing what they have to do. Because, you're going to school on a football scholarship. You have the opportunity to do your 4 years in college, get your degree, and play the sport that you love.
Mm-hmm.
Take advantage of both of the opportunities.
Yes.
Tell it.
Lord.
Tell it.
Because, it just doesn't make sense to do anything other than that. You wasting somebody money.
Yeah.
To be sitting there going to school and then not do what you're supposed to do in the classroom. And these coaches play a significant role in making sure that that's important. Don't let them skate just because they're good at athletics. Make sure that they're straight mentally. Make sure that they're good physically, make sure that they're good, period. That's
Mm.
part of your job as the coach.
Mentally. I'm glad she say that, because when I just coach back real quick. I coach basketball, and one thing at practice I said, I came to practice and I didn't start practice, but I said, "Is everybody doing good in school?" Yes. I said, "You sure?" Yes. I made everybody stand up and say, "What's your grades?" Some B, some C. C. No, bro. No, I gotta do better. Gotta do better. Is everybody listening to their mama? Word. Everybody listen to mom and daddy? Yeah. Parents? Yeah. Got a couple of years. But it's like I totally agree with what she said. Mentally. I like that. I like what she said about mentally. There you go, Mark.
Drunk said a lot of parents try to vicariously live through their child, so everything they couldn't do, they want their kid to do. And sports is the main example. Highly agree. Highly agree. What's going on, GC?
GC, what's happening,
baby? In the building.
Hey, baby. The Cajun boys in the building.
That's
Mr.
my
Cajun.
dog.
GC.
Lord
what it do, baby? Hey, boy, we got Cajun, boy. We got some seafood gumbo there, boy. Hey, boy.
Hey, if you give this video a thumbs up, GC say he gonna throw you a seafood boil New Orleans style. So go ahead, that thumbs up, yo.
Where my phone at? Let me give me some. My thumb. Let me give my phone at.
Junk said a lot of sports parents ain't worried about grades; they're worried about stats, and that is very true. Very true. I think doing that is setting kids up for failure and a lot of disappointment. Like I'm a big fan of the show Last Chance U on Netflix, and a lot of times you see kids with all the football talent in the world never really get to achieve their goals and aspirations of playing pro ball because they can't hang with the classroom part. So, like I said, if you want to push your kid to be an athlete, it's all fine and well. You know, it's your household, do what you do, but you also got to make sure you emphasize the classroom aspect of it as well, because that could be the difference between allowing your kid to achieve their goals or them not making it. So, yeah, I appreciate the conversation, man. That was all I have for you guys today. It was very, very good conversation. I just want to say to everybody listening and watching, hey, man, you got to make that money, dog. We ain't mad at you.
Nothing wrong with that.
The key thing I want people to take away from this, if you're on the side where you're like me, where football is a very big passion for you, don't use that passion of football to attack people who choose not to let their kids play the game of football. Because at the end of the day, if a parent is just looking out for the safety and well-being of their child, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It should actually be applauded that this person cares enough about their child and wants to be a phenomenal parent. There aren't too many of those in the world today, so salute them and appreciate them. For the crowd that is against their child playing football, don't throw stones at the parents who are allowing their kids to play football. If they feel like it's safe enough for their kid and they're allowing their kid to chase their dream and do what they want to do, there's nothing wrong with that, because at the end of the day, they're investing in their child's happiness and quality of life as well. So there's no right or wrong in this argument. We're all on the same team. At the end of the day, it's just making sure that our kids are happy and healthy and doing what they love to do.
Word.
Appreciate it, Junk. T-Mac, you got anything you want to say to the people before we head out of here?
He said over entertaining the college games. Appreciate that, Drunk.
Appreciate it, dog. T-Mac, you got anything you want to say to the people before we go? She's muted again. Oh, no.
Well, I'm so happy to have met y'all. And this was a good conversation. I enjoyed everybody and everybody's point of view. This is really dope. Thank y'all for having me.
Look.
We appreciate you making history with us today. That's my best friend. She's a North Carolina A&T State University graduate. And
my wife is too. My wife an Aggie too. My wife would be there. She'll be there at homecoming. She just got a ticket.
Oh Lord.
Look at Philly G, man.
Oh. Hey man, that's my dog. Key dog, you got anything you want to say to the people before we head out of here?
I just want to say that we had a good topic today, and I'm a Forsyth Tech graduate, community college of biotechnology.
Go ahead, Q.
Let's
go.
Go.
Ahead, Q.
Let's go, Q.
A black scientist, yes.
Let's go.
But,
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But I just want to say that, yeah, so, if I can do it at 55, anybody can do it. I promise you that.
Yes, sir.
So, it's never too late. Go chase it. If you had a passion for something, I tell anybody, it's never too late. You need to do it. Don't have no regrets in life. That is the key. Yep. No regrets. Yep. And so as I move forward, I got a little bucket list that I'm trying to do. So I'm gonna do my thing, and I encourage everybody to just chase your dreams, no matter what it is. Chase them,
baby. I'm chasing mine, running this podcast.
There you go.
Chasing.
Mr. President, what you want to say to the people before we get out of here, man?
Oh man, I just want to say, man, great show, man, and thanks to the host, young Mark, man. He brung it like I knew he was in the Real Man to Man Lounge. I knew he's gonna bring it. Yeah. He is growing as a host, man, and I'm glad I gave him the opportunity to show the world his talents. And I want also, man, I gotta Miss Philly G, man, for breaking the record, man. I gotta acknowledge her, man. I gotta acknowledge her.
The tribal chief, Philly G. Acknowledge her,
G, man. The first woman to ever be on the show, man.
Let me ask Miss Philly G a question. What football team do you roll with? You have a football team?
Oh, you don't? With it.
Oh, okay. Okay, I thought you had a team. Okay.
They rolling with you, Q Dog. Say congratulations. Let's go, Q. It's showing you some love out here, Diggity Dog.
Got you, man.
That's right.
Love out here.
Also,
yes, like I said, man, I want to thank Young Mark, man, for hosting the show, man. He's, like I said, he's really growing and evolving into a host, man, and he's doing a wonderful job bringing us good content here on the Real Man to Man Lounge. Check us out Tuesday at 7 p.m. Sports to talk about, man. We got college football news and rumors, and we have scores and reviews for week coming from week 5, man, for the NFL season. So 7 o'clock Tuesday, check us out, man. That's all I got to say.
Yes, sir. Well, definitely appreciate you guys for sticking with us and hanging with us today. I hope you guys get to leave with some newfound perspectives on the conversation that we had today. If you like what you see, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Come check us out on Tuesday, like host said, and appreciate y'all for being here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Thank y'all again, close man. Up the shot, man. We out of here.
When we close this thing, I gotta close this thing, man. Again, my phone going off like crazy. All right. I feel you. Okay, but again, man, shout out to Young Mark. Shout out to my man Q Dog, man, college graduate.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Miss Philly G, breaking the record, man. I get some views on there just for you, girl. Appreciate you, appreciate you, man. Hey, all the women out there, if you want to be on the show, we're not sexist. You can be on here too, man.
Yes,
you can be on here too.
We need y'all.
Yeah, man. We need them women. We need them queens, man. Them queens are y'all very valuable. So we appreciate that, man. We appreciate her being on, man. And that's the host right there, man. He did a good job today. Thank you, host. As always,
appreciate the opportunity, man.
Yes, sir, man. Don't forget to check us out Tuesday, 7 p.m. live only on YouTube, man. We are out.